Excuse me, have you heard about the Venezuelan crisis? What do you think should happen? Big crisis. A group of Venezuelans are here in London, in South Kensington Station, looking forward to engaging with the public with a very important question. Do you know about the Venezuelan crisis?
No, sorry.
You're not aware of it. Venezuela has been facing one of the most severe humanitarian, political and social crises of the history of the continent. Venezuela is facing a refugee crisis, severe scarcity and very, very low quality of life. Today we want to engage with the public here in London. We want to ask them, what do you think about this question? What do you think the world should do about Venezuela?
I think the U.S. should keep their hands off of Venezuela and the Venezuelans should figure it out for themselves.
But do you think that after 20 years, having the opposition in prison and being almost hopeless about it, do you think that Venezuelans could do this on their own?
I don't know because I don't know enough to have a valid opinion.
Have you heard about the crisis in Venezuela?
Yes.
What do you think about it?
Sad.
Sad for what reason? What have you heard?
Well, I've heard about Maduro. I think he's a dictator. I think he should be, well, you know, given up power.
Good morning. Have you heard about the problems in Venezuela? Have you heard about Venezuela? Good morning.
Good morning.
What?
Venezuela, get rid of Maduro because he's an idiot, and socialism always makes people poor, and nothing else.
Have you experienced socialism before?
Yeah, in Syria,
Yes.
and they're thieves.
Do you think that socialism works?
Socialism works if there is an understanding amongst all the leaders, not just if there is a grab and just make money for the rich and profit for the shareholders of the oil companies.
Absolutely. Where are you from?
From India.
Anybody knows about the crisis in Venezuela? Raise your hand. Libertad! You haven't heard about the Venezuelan crisis in terms of humanitarian aid, refugees, and other severe political the crumbling of democracy? Well, let me tell you as a Venezuelan that we've been facing 20 years of socialism. Che pensi che devono fare gli italiani e la comunità europea per Venezuela?
Bah, non saprei risponderti sinceramente.
Ma conosci il problema? Conosci che Venezuela ha una situazione molto difficile politicamente?
Sì, ho letto qualcosina, ma niente di particolare.
Peut-être. C'est pour ça que la question c'est très importante.
Venezuela qui doit faire pour le Venezuela. C'est le peuple vénézuélien. Donc l'armée, finalement, doit se mettre avec le peuple pour délivrer le peuple de Maduro.
Ustedes como españolas, personas tan cercanas a nosotros los venezolanos, ¿qué piensan ustedes que debe hacer España para Venezuela?
Primeramente, no dar opciones al que no quiere dejar el país para que realmente puedan sacarlo a flote los que sí le importan su país. Eso es lo primero. Y fundamentalmente hacer todo lo posible para que toda la ayuda humanitaria llegue, que la gente está muriendo.
La realtà è che stiamo chiamando per una intervenzione umanitaria e l'Italia ha detto di essere neutrale. A me mi fa un po' fastidio quello perché a Venezuela ci sono tanti italiani, è una comunità importantissima.
Questo sicuramente è qualcosa da trattare politicamente, non saprei rispondere io.
Je pense que c'est comme ça grande la crise que les Vénézuéliens comme nous ont besoin de la aide de la international community.
C'est d'eux-mêmes aussi, parce que c'est leur faute qu'ils se sont basés sur le pétrole pendant très longtemps et qu'ils n'ont rien fait d'autre que de récolter le pétrole et de vivre là-dessus avec une corruption très grande. Donc c'est le Venezuela qui doit se corriger d'abord.
El presidente legítimo de Venezuela, Juan Guaidó, su primer objetivo es el cese de la usurpación. Nicolás Maduro lo vemos como un usurpador. ¿Ustedes creen que España puede ayudar a la comunidad venezolana independientemente de la Unión Europea o piensan que esta debe ser una acción colectiva de la Unión Europea?
Bueno, pues yo creo que tiene que ser colectiva, ¿no? Ya que estamos ahí, pues que sean todos juntos, pero también España es un país que los venezolanos los llevamos ahí.
What do you think we should do about the Venezuelan crisis? Something, maybe something. Nothing so far. Humanity.
Economically, guys, the situation has got critical as far as I understand. By the way, I'm from Russia, the country which supports Venezuela.
People are talking about maybe military intervention. They're talking about negotiations for free election. What do you think would be the best way out for a country facing a very, very difficult crisis?
Well, I think you have to get the people behind what you're going to do. So you have to get at a grassroots level, understand what the people want, and get a movement going like that. That's what I would look to do. It has to be a consensus of the population, the masses. What do they want to do?
Half of the people are unhappy, maybe half of the people aren't happy. But there is no one common opinion, probably.
And in case of a situation like this, of absolute distortion of opinions, how can we find a common ground?
Something has to happen. I think it should be like an arbiter country. I mean, like someone who will just be in charge of the resolution of the problem.
So you think that this should be dealt internationally, as an international community?
Probably UN should be more specific about it, and they should do something.
And what do you think when the people are not armed, because the army has the monopoly of violence? Do you think that it's possible to get rid of a dictatorship without violence?
Yeah, I think it is somehow. I'm not sure how you do it, but I'm sure there's ways and means. I mean, you can rely on other countries, I suppose, to put pressure on, maybe sanctions, maybe they can threat military, but I don't think you want to go down the military route because people just die for no reason. So what's the point?
What do you think about the Russian intervention in Venezuela regarding minerals, oil, natural resources?
It's just all about business as far as I know. I can't tell you anything about, I can't call it intervention. That would be really, really stupid, to be honest. Because like it's international relations, and as it used to be with Cuba, let's say, yeah? Yes. And then like Americans implementing sanctions on Cuba. And now they're trying to do the same with Venezuela.
I think you have to make some kind of stance there where people make not a revolution, but they somehow make the point heard, and so people protest in such a way, but a peaceful protest.
So peaceful protest may be sanctions and a consensus coming from bottom up?
Yeah. And I think if other leaders around put pressure on, this is often the way to do things, and at the end of the day, get them where it hurts them in the pocket.
What do you think about socialism as an experiment in trying to bring about social justice and equality? Venezuela tried it, Cuba tried it, Russia tried it, and what's the result of all that?
I think Sweden is a socialist country, aren't they?
Very small country.
Very small country, and it's very easy to control it. It's not about, let me be true and honest with you guys. Yes. It's not about socialism, it's just about corruption.
Do you think the United Kingdom should also have a say in this? Because at the end of the day, it's a fight for democracy and freedom.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the UK is a very liberal place. We like to feel we're kind of balanced and fair thinking. We're having our own problems with the EU at the moment, of course. We just see that becoming a monster. So I think they're trying to pull away from it. Whether that's the right or wrong answer, I'm not sure. But I think there are ways of doing things peacefully, and by all means have the UK help you.
Many have said that the humanitarian and political crisis in Venezuela is the responsibility of Venezuelans. Others think that this is a problem that pertains to the international community as a whole. It also pertains coming to an understanding that the world has a responsibility. Scarcity of products, scarcity of medicines, very, very bad quality of life, the crumbling of its democratic institutions. And people are aware, people are interested, people know that Venezuela needs help. The question is, what kind of help? Humanitarian aid, the intervention of the European Union, political consensus, maybe even military intervention. The options are open, but the important thing is to be aware of them, to share them, to come to an understanding, and to see what people of London in a day like today in South Kensington have to say. Is that of interest to you?
Yes.
Thank you so much for paying attention. Have a great day. Eso estuvo muy lindo.